So if it's not clear from the fact that I have like a pretty sizable stun counter on the stream, it's because Vlad is primarily a vortex slash stun based character. It's pretty clear that you see that like his like basic confirms consist of a lot of heavy attacks, things like that do a lot of stun damage. So it's pretty easy for him to rack up the stun meter and keep pressure going, especially if you're doing stuff like, you know, instant, hover, medium punch. I screwed that up and did neutral jump, which happens a lot. You do like this, and that, and then you just get in, you knock people down, and then like you hit them again and they get stunned. Yeah, so that fills up the stun meter pretty quick. So here's where the vortex comes in. So this is the main strategy which I use to play this character, which a few other people I've seen do. But I think this is really like the best way this character can be played. So I do a knockdown, and I fire a missile into their wake up. Obviously, you know, the projectiles like inside their bodies are getting up. They have to block it. They have to deal with it unless they DP out, which doesn't make sense because I'm all the way out here. So if I get the knockdown instead of a missile, I mean, I can kinetic advance cancel this. So that means I can kinetic advance cancel into jump forward. It means I can kinetic advance cancel into hover. And I can do stuff like that. So the whole point is I'm setting up a meaty projectile to go into hover offense, which can consist of a number of things. So I can do double overhead off of the standard jump in. I can do hover, double overhead. I can do hover into an empty jump low. I can do hover into a jump in and do a throw. I can do hover into just overhead low, which people will surprisingly get hit by because they're so scared of the double overhead. I can do, you know, thing off of a standard jump in. I can jump and then hover and then suddenly cross you up. I can jump in and then hover and then go over you and then cross you up for a double overhead that's really dirty but hard to set up. Like that. So as you can see, I have a lot of options for how to mix people up. And, like, if I even do the most basic mix-up, which is the double overhead, if they block that, they're still in block stun for so long with me doing this, that if I do that series right there, they can't DP out of that. As soon as they got touched by the missile, they have to respect all of this, because they are still in block stun. So that actually makes this mix-up really, really scary, because I have this go-to option that's really strong. I can execute. And if they get hit, they take a pretty good amount of damage. And they get put in the same situation again, because Vlad is not slow at building kinetic meter. So if I get one clean hit, I can start setting this up. Do it one more time, and guess what? You're stunned. And that's all assuming pretty light confirms, too. So that, I would say, is the basic strategy behind playing this character and, like, you know, getting stuff done. And then, of course, you have extensions to this where it's like, you know, you can do, like, an empty jump throw off of the hover. You can do, like, you know, tick throws and a back throw, and then you can do like double overhead, and then you can hover over them immediately and cross them up and do that. So like if they're expecting you to throw them. After you do this, you hover over them, and you just body them for doing it. Then you like confirm into super, and then you knock them down, and then you do it again, and yeah. So that's essentially the gist of how Vlad's offensive game works, how you incorporate hover into your mix-up game, and how you stun people over and over and over again until they die. And that is what this character is good at. As mentioned before, if you're at long range, you can use Air Sputnik to keep people out, or at least to make them respect, you know, the fact that you have it. You can use this button a lot in footsies, cancel a missile to set up pressure. You can do this in neutral, like if you're just playing footsies and you cancel into that, you know, you can set up your offense that way. You know, poking with jabs, poking with stand medium punch, missiles, clobbering rush isn't bad sometimes, depending on the matchup. So yeah, that's basically everything. Everything of importance, anyway. You can do some advanced stuff from this, but like that's the basic strategy with Vlad. That's how, in my opinion, this character needs to be played. Because this messes up a lot of people real bad. This character is definitely a snowball character. He gets one opening, he sets up the mix-up, and people start dying very, very, very quickly. And, I mean, there's a couple of other things. There's like one more thing, I guess, on defense that's worth noting. So, obviously popular strategy. You kinetic cancel to make your DP safe, fuck up. Vlad, however, does not need to limit himself to just that. It's like, I mean, well, I can kinetic cancel however I want. I can kinetic cancel into a jump. But wait, why don't I just kinetic cancel into hover? If I can do it. That. It's like if they block this, I can just hover over their head and like, immediately cross them up because they blocked my DP. It's hard to simulate because I can't make the AI block, but the point is Vlad can actually start a lot of really mean stuff just because you blocked his DP. So, yeah. I guess that's really the last big concept. So, yeah, that's my Vlad tutorial. And if anyone has any other questions, then I can answer them. And,